livestock guardian breed. Good. Bean, I do want to emphasize that what I'm doing here is just exposing her to the environment, making sure to build up a lot of confidence, making sure to build up a lot of engagement. I do like it that she's holding these commands. I like it that she's looking around. Sometimes, like this look, she gets a little fixated. I take a step away from her and I bring her attention back to me for some food. I don't mind that she's looking at stuff, but I'd rather give food and have her not feel stressed. Yes, her dad's been working with her a bunch on her downs and stuff, which is good. And she has a lot of positive feelings about that, which is super important. Down. Yes, when you're working on dogs and you're trying to use commands, it's super important they feel good in those commands. Down. Yes, especially if you're struggling with fear or aggression, anxiety. Down. Nice. Down. Down. Yes. Oh, okay. I can't do both of you at the same time. Okay. Now we'll walk around. Let's see how they do. Nope. So I purposefully have her on a slip lead. She had the prong collar on. The prong collar can be great, but sometimes we kind of will have a feeling that we have control over the dog. But in reality, we just physically are controlling the dog. Mentally, they're kind of distracted. Hey, a slip lead will also help us get better at our skills, like in terms of popping the leash, how much pressure to use. Hey, no, it'll also help the dog get better at responding to pressure. Good girl, Bean. Good. But believe it or not, I'm just taking Bean out here for like 10 minutes in some different spots. We passed a little dog earlier and she was distracted, but she didn't make any sounds. She pulled a little bit towards it. So we'll just come out here for like 10 minutes. I want to let the leash be loose because I want her to smell. And this is a little bit of the problem when people put so much work into the obedience and structured walking. It doesn't allow the dog a chance to smell and explore their environment. Unfortunately, now I see it's very common where there's no option for the dog to smell anything. And that's not good when the dog, especially if the dog's fearful or they're anxious or they're aggressive, you want to let them smell stuff. So, come on, Em. Now, at the same time, the smelling can get out of control. Pretty soon you have a dog pulling you down the street smelling. But I'm going to be way less concerned about a dog smelling than a dog being anxious. Hi, how you doing? Oh, look at the little... We used to call that the tumbleweed haircut. My brother's hair was like that. Yeah, the tumbleweed. Also something important to think about, like when I'm out here as a trainer, I try to be friendly. If I'm friendly when I'm walking around, the dog sees, hey, this guy's friendly. So, unfortunately, right now, the dog training world is just really split in two. It's either punish the dog, force the dog, or keep giving the dog cookies. To find the balance of giving cookies, watch this down. Watch both of them. Down. Emma, down. Down. Good. Good. So you tend to see either people with really flattened out, bored, sad dogs, or dogs that are freaking out of control. But to see the balance, like these girls, down. Good. Where they are under control, but they're really tuned in and they're really calm and they're really feeling good. That's gonna, I think, the goal. You know, not just think about what is the dog doing, but like how are they feeling? I mean, if I have a dog in a down and they're feeling stressed and or trapped and they're potentially aggressive at times or fearful, putting them in a down when there's distractions could add more stress. Good. If I have a dog like Bean, whose dad's been doing a lot of downs with her, with food, good. When I tell her to do down, she's like, nope, that's what we do. We do it together. Good. That's what we do. So these dogs have all been trained with training tools, folks. I use every training tool there is. I'm going to use the remote collar, prong collar, slip lead, halty, clicker, harness, thick flat collar, manners minder, crate, snuffle mat, agility course, tug, toys, balls. I don't think there's a tool I'm not going to use. So, but knowing when to use different tools is the key, and with what dog. And unfortunately, right now, we're in a very one-size-fits-all approach. Bean, come, sit. Good. Down. Good. Bean, this dog's 9 months old. Had some reactivity. with people and with dogs. Emma, down. Yes. Good, Bean. Good. Bean technically wasn't released there. I don't really care. But here we are in a shopping center, 9-month-old dog. This is my helper dog. This dog was hard to train. This is a challenging dog, folks. A lot of trainers are, unfortunately, they're just showing really easy dogs. And I had to talk with one of my students the other day. He was following somebody online, showing the guy was showing him training his Belgian Malinois. Folks, when people are showing themselves training Border Collies, Belgian Malinois, Black and Yellow Labs, and Golden Retrievers, that's great. You could definitely learn stuff from those people. But if you're struggling with a more challenging dog, then you might find that you won't get as much help with those people because they may not know how to work with challenging dogs. Good, Bean. Bean's smelling here. I think she knows we're at the pet store. Come on, Bean. Come on, Emmy. Let's go. Let's go. See how they can still smell and the leash is loose? Good girl, Bean. Nice job, Bean. I like it how she's checking in. I like it how Emma's checking in. This is what I would like on a social walk. Like if I have food, if I have treats, the dogs should be on their own checking in. Hey, man, you got food? Yeah, I got food. Oh, cool. Hey, I'm going to go smell some stuff. Hey, what's up? You got more food? Yeah, cool. Okay. Good, Emma. You guys got to realize, like, the food motivation takes time. Oh, the little one. Come on, guys. Sit. Good. Bean, sit. Good. Bean. Oh, put her over here. Okay, so notice the leash is loose, letting them smell. Bean's relaxed. Good girl, Bean. Come on, Emmy. I don't mind if they smell. They just can't pull me around. Good job, hippies. Good job. Yeah. Good. Bean, no, leave it. This is what I mean about your leash skills getting a little better. You know, if you can handle the dog on a slip lead, their prong collar is going to go much better. Good. That's not to say that's with every dog. I mean, whatever. But I do like going back and forth to my slip lead, back to training tools, and see what's working best. So this is fear here. You see, this is fear. Hey, Bean, no, leave it. Leave it. Good. That's fear. Something new is in the environment. I'm scared. I want to go up to it. I'm pulling towards it, but I'm actually scared of it. That's what we call forward aggression. It could be forward aggression. The dog is going towards something, but they're actually afraid. We have to remember all aggression all comes from fear. That doesn't mean we don't hold dogs accountable. That doesn't mean we don't have consequences. But it means that in the back of their mind, we understand, oh, the dog is afraid. And we want to address the way they're feeling. Here's Bean seeing that little doodle over there. Hi, dude. Okay. Give food. Her leash is trapped on her foot. Bean. Good. Good. No, Bean. No, leave it. Leave it. That was more curiosity there. She's kind of curious. Hey, what's up with that dog? First she was like, man, I'm scared. I don't know what to do. There's a new dog. And then she's like, oh, don't pull on the leash. Don't get obsessed. You can see now she's curious. What would happen though right now is if I went over there to go meet that dog, I don't really know how that dog is. I don't know if that dog's reactive. I don't know if that dog's a scaredy. And so notice how I just move away from Bean to get her to follow me here. That is the question I want to ask. Will the dog follow? Good. Good, Bean. The sooner I get the dog going from that fixation to smelling, the better, okay? The more I have the dog responsive to the leash when they see the distraction, the better. The more I have the dog, hey, Bean, I say their name, they look for food, the better. Or a toy, okay? Good, Bean. Good. 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 Let's walk the driveway. Good. You see the fixation, the staring. Good. Good girl. Good girls. Good. Good Bean. Good girl. Good girl. Very good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Very good girl. You see when I say good, like the way they feel? Good girls. Good. Yeah, very good. When you use that word good food, over and over again, you say good, you give food. Then you say good, you don't give food. The dog's like really happy. Good. And they understand. Stay put. I'll bring the food to you. Good. So we're going to end now. It's been about 15 minutes we were out here. Come on, let's go. Now we're going to walk back to the car. Hi there, how you doing? Good. They almost trapped you. You weren't able to get out of the shopping center. Yeah. Uh-oh. I hired a coach one time, and he told me about something that I always use, and it's called the 85% rule. And it's that we always want there to be 85% success in whatever we do on average. We're not going to have 100% success. That's not possible. But what we can have is 85% success on average. That's going to help us succeed on average 85% of the time. So what does that mean? That means if I take my dog on 10 walks, one of the walks maybe I'm struggling with, no problem. That means if I recall my dog 10 times and a couple times they don't come back right when I say, it's not a big deal. In my case, working on Emma getting in and out of the van calmly, if she does this 8 or 9 out of 10 times, that's all good, okay? Sometimes we strive for perfection. It ends up driving us crazy. Easy, easy. Good, easy. Good girl, easy. And what'll happen is we push ourselves to try to do it again and again because we want, like right now I walked her around. I would say 80 to 90% of the time she was paying attention to me. 8 out of 9 times when I popped on that leash, she looked at me. It wasn't perfect. And the problem is if I strive for perfection, I might put more pressure on the dog. I might try to take them out for too long. What if in this walk here, I said, no, I want to walk around that shopping center one whole time. And she's completely looking at me 100% of the time. And every time I tug on the leash, she looks at me and she never once looks fixated at anything ever. That would be great. And if that does happen, yes, eventually that is the goal. But, if that's what you want, I don't need the dog looking at me the whole time. But if I say to myself, hey, this is the goal eventually to have it like this. And I go, hey, we're heading in the right direction. We're 90% there. I'm like, okay, cool. Wow, we just had a good session. We just had a nice walk. That was great. Let's do that again. And same thing for the dog. Wow, he took me out. He challenged me 90% of the time. We figured out the answer to the question and it made sense to me. And then you take the dog out again and the dog's like, cool, let's do it again. So the important thing is go with the flow. Try to get 80 to 90% success. You try to strive for 100% success, you will make yourself crazy. And it's not possible to have 100% success all the time. It's not possible. It's the same thing with correcting or punishing the dog. It's not going to necessarily be that every time you correct the dog, they're like, oh my God, that was a bad idea. I'm not doing that again. But the goal is like most of the time when you do something uncomfortable to the dog, or you take what the dog wants away, and you don't give them what they want, then most of the time the dog looks and go, oh, I shouldn't do that again. So the problem right now, I believe, is, we're not necessarily talking in these broader ways. We're kind of just focusing on obedience, make them do commands. And that's not necessarily reality. And especially in distractions, in the real world, with real distractions, things are going to happen. I saw a trainer yesterday. I went to his seminar before. I paid him $3,000. He said, we've never, ever, not one time had this not work with a dog. Well, I remember 7 years ago, I brought you my dog and it didn't work with my dog. There are multiple trainers that were not able to succeed with my own dog that still to this day claim they've never had a dog that their system doesn't work on. So I believe we need to move in the opposite direction. When somebody goes, this works for every dog all the time, no matter what, that's not reality. This works for every person, no matter what, all the time. That's not reality. We should be going towards trainers that are like, hey, this is what I know works. This is what I do in these cases. In other cases, maybe I do things differently. Hey, there's a lot of different ways to do things out there. There's a lot of different methods. But this one-size-fits-all 100% success is, I think, it can drive me crazy, So, and same thing with the time in your sessions. I mean, when I used to train dogs before, I would train them for an hour straight, no matter what. Now, sometimes I take out a dog for 2 minutes. Dog does great. Put him away. Pull him out for 2 minutes. Dog's doing horrible. Oh my God, put him away. So just be flexible. Go with the flow. Love yourself. Go with the flow. If you want more information on training that's like this, you could follow me on YouTube. You can like me on Instagram. You can always ask me questions on Instagram. Even send me videos of your dog. I'm happy to give some advice. And at the same time, you can also always go on what I think is the best podcast for dog training, which is the Canine Paradigm podcast out of Australia, and the Canine Paradigm Facebook discussion group. You could let them know Eric from Follow the Leader sent you over there, and that is a really great place, the Canine Paradigm discussion group. It's a really great place to get some answers and get a supportive community that's not one-sided or the other. I'm the only trainer I know of in my area that's got the clicker, the harness, the toys, the shock collar, the remote collar, prong collar, all the food, all the treats, does box feeding, existential feeding. I have a full agility course. I do protection work. I rehabilitate the craziest, the gnarliest ones. I rehabilitate the most scared ones. I work with puppies. I do board-in trains. I also do sessions. I'll also train your dog without you there. I do walking, bathing, whatever my clients need. But unfortunately today we're in this, like I said, one-size-fits-all approach. So love you guys dearly. Appreciate you. I'll see you in the future. Take care. And remember, we don't blame them. We train them.